Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Show some love. Make some noise for the one and only super talented comedian all the way from Marsabit County. Wapi makofi na kelele ya Professor 6A's.
Aya, sawa sawa. Thank you so much. Abdub Adano Adichare Ado Ali Alex. Professor 6A is my name. Mimi ni msanii. I'm proud to have the fame. Lakini ni mara yangu kuja National Theatre. Hakuna yule nita blame. Mimi ni msanii. Huwa na perform mbele hata President Uhuru Kenyatta. Niliperform mbele ya President Uhuru Kenyatta wakati alikuwa chairman wa KANU. Nimejitokeza kwa uwanja. Utawala wa KANU hakuna kile imetudhuru. Kiongozi wa KANU ambaye sasa ni Mheshimiwa Uhuru. Mheshimiwa, karibu na asante kwa kutuzulu. Najua wembe wako ni kali hata zaidi ya Weru Mburu. Mheshimiwa akaniambia hivi. Yuko sawa. Nikarudia stanza nyingine. Mheshimiwa Uhuru ni expert kwa kunyoa. Aliposili huku juzi, ukweli wa mambo alitoa. Walagai wengi, siri Uhuru wanawatoboa. Mheshimiwa, asante kwa kutokoa. Kwa heshima zako hata msichana bora tutakufungia ndoa. Baadaye akaniuliza wapi dem. Haya. Ilikuwa ni wakati wa referendum. Machungwa ndizi. Msanii akajitokeza kwa uwanja. Kwa sababu ya sheria mbaya ya zamani, wanatunyanyasa sana polisi. Human right haina sauti, inasimama tu ni ofisi. Afisa anakukamata na kuambia twende. Mateke na makovi kutoka kila upande. Kila ukigongo unastahili ujibu afande. Ukikamatwa Ijumaa statement kuandikwa ni Monday. Bila kupeleka kotini miaka utakaa rumande. Na hiyo ni Marsabit.
Wewe kuna kitu moja anapenda about watu wa pwani. Wapi watu wa coast tafadhali? Wapi watu wa coast? Leo hamna mdomo watu wa coast Ukipata watu wawili wa coast wanapiga gumzo, amepata mtu kutoka bara unasikia wewe mwenzangu kaka acha nikwambie wewe. Unajaribu kumfanyia utani unaukware sana wewe. Kwambie kitu unachotaka kujua wewe. Wanchezea mimi. Nakupeleka kwa mganga ufrizi wewe. Ukipata mtu wa pwani kale mkalea anakuambia kwera. Ati ni freeze. Kama mimi nita freeze wewe nitakukausha. We appreciate those guys from Coast.
Mimi wanasema sura yangu ni mbaya lakini roho yangu ni safi. Wacheni niwaambie kitu moja. Siri ya kunona ni kidogo sana. Ukitaka kunona, kula chakula balance diet, then after hiyo tafuta dawa inaitwa Piritol. Wewe meza, minyoo watalala na chakula itafanya kazi. Ukitaka kujua mtu wa kununua kitu, utamjua. Mtu wa kununua anaendaga kwa muuzaji anauliza muuzaji, habari ya muuzaji, hii ni pesa ngapi? Nifungie. Lakini mtu mwenye anunui anakujanga kwa muuzaji, habari ya muuzaji, weather iko namna gani? Biashara iko aje? Hii ni pesa ngapi? Nilikuwa ninauliza tu bei, nikipata pesa nitakuja kununua. Ukiona mtu yoyote anafanya window shopping, huyo ni mtu mwenye ana pesa. Because anasemanga nikipata pesa nitanunua hii. Kuna posta moja utawaiona ikiwekwa. Unaamkanga asubuhi unakutana na posta imeandikwa mganga mashuhuri Mohamed Yusuf kutoka Tanzania. Na huyu mtu anaitwa Peter Moshege, anaishi hapa Dandora. Then unasikia anatibu ugonjwa wa wasiwasi. Na yeye mwenyewe alikuwa na wasiwasi, akaweka hiyo posta usiku ndio asishikwe na watu wa kanjo. Then unasikia anasema anatibu kuongeza biashara. Biashara yake yeye mwenyewe ameshindwa kuongeza. Kitu yenye wananiudhingi sana ni moja. Anasema anaongeza nguvu za kiume. Kwani wanawake hatutakangi tuongezewe hata sisi nguvu? Sasa mimi siku ya leo nilisema nikioa sitafanya kitu inaitwa wedding. Because naweza fanya wedding leo, kesho tuachane. So nikaamua nitafanya kitu inaitwa welding. So that kila mahali mimi naenda na mke wangu. Na leo nimetembea na huyo mke wangu. Na tuko naye hapa. Na huyo mke wangu kuna kitabu moja anapendanga sana. Hii ni kitabu anaweza soma kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Si notebook, si storybook, ni checkbook. Hii kitabu anaipenda sana. Na vile tumetembea na yeye, wacha awasalamie. Habari ya mama?
Mzuri sana.
Hata umetembea?
Si niko pamoja.
Umeolewa?
Si nimeolewa.
Uko na bwana?
Si niko nao.
Na watoto?
Niko nao.
Uzuri wa mwanaume
ni vitendo.
Huyu wako
ni manga.
Kwa nini?
Vitu mingi sana.
Nyumba
halipi,
mavazi
hanunui,
na mimba
anapeana tena sana.
Mimba anapeana?
Mimba anapeana.
Kwa hivyo unasema namna gani?
Kwa sababu mimi sina otherwise ingine.
Unasema nini?
Si mimi nimemaliza.
Kazi ya tajiri
ni kutafuta pesa.
Kazi ya maskini
si ni kutafuta watoto.
Very good mama, very good mama.
Let's appreciate him. Such nice talent all the way from Nakuru, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Haya. Angalia mwenzako na mwambie hi. Look yourself, angalia mwenzako alafu mwambie hi. Okay, I'm from Nakuru and when I landed here niliona nikiingia kwa matatu kuna sticker imeandikwa bed bugs, meaning nikipiga simu hata kama ndapitia KU zinipate nitaspray. Nakuru ni disaster. Unaingia matatu hivi kwanza unaambiwa ni warning. Unaona sticker ya kwanza hujalipia kulala. Kosea uliza ule mtu wa matatu ati kuna kiti ndani, hata kujibu. Ingia ndani utapata imeandikwa, unauliza kuna kiti, kwani wengine wamekalia ndoo. Then kuna watu wanatudanganya sana. There's some people, watangazaji wa habari ya Kiswahili wanatuambia maneno mazuri sana. Unasikia mwanaume wa miaka 46 ametekwa nyara. Ikifika taarifa za saa 3 za usiku utapata tunaambiwa a man of 46 years was kidnapped. Hiyo ni uongo. They have to tell us a man of 46 years was kidnapped. And nilisoma Borasome High School, and Borasome High School tulikuwa naenda music festival. So there's this song watu wa Coast wanapendanga kuimba sana. Paka mapepe huyo, paka mapepe huyo. Alafu wanaicheza vizuri Western. Hapo tukakuwa tumeenda music festival. Na sijui watu wa Western, sijui nani aliwaambia tukienda music festival hata tukiingia kwa stage tunapiganga magoti. So tumesimama dancing style ikasimama, tukaanza ladies and gentlemen, tuko mbele yenu tunawaletea wimbo wa taarabu inaitwa Paka Mapepe huyo. Dancing style ndio hiyo. Paka mapepe huyo, paka mapepe huyo, paka mapepe huyo, paka mapepe huyo. Tulikuwa disqualified na hapo ndo pale tulienda nyumbani, but I have to leave you with one msemo. Ukiona vimelea Waswahili, ukiona vimelea hazijaundwa, ukiona vimelea piga mbizi endo vichukue. Simu yako hizi anguka kwa maji uniambia ati imeundwa. Siliundwa ndikaanguka kwa maji. Ifuate iende. Thank you.
Let's appreciate him tafadhali. Holy DJ. Such amazing talent from all the way from Nakuru. We appreciate you, Maze.
Parisenya. Bwana, sasa mimi nilikuwa juzi natoka huko tao. Nikapanda ile kwa hapa stage nitatunda. Sasa tuvizo nilikuwa napanda gari, kwa bahati mbaya kakitu kakakuja kwa tumbo, ni kama ile kuendesha. Sasa unajua ukipanda hizi matirisa Nairobi, ukikalia hapa nyuma. Ukikalia hapo nyuma sasa wakombo nenda hapi nenda Tandora. Ukikombondi Tandora unafika kwa barabara. Sasa ni conductor kanambia umefika? Nikamwambia bado. Kwa nini? Nilikuwa naendesha, unajua ukopanga kupita katikati ya mtu hivyo utasikia harufu fulani. Sasa juzi best yangu tumeenda nito Wafula. Unajua hizi rangi imekuja na kila flavor fulani. Hizi rangi za ukuta. Sasa best yangu ameenda mahali anapata nyumba ya udongo imetengenezwa vizuri, wameka rangi imepakwa iko na flavor ya kuku. Kidogo nani ndio huyo amerarua ukuta wenyewe. Huyo ni Wafula. Alikula ukuta sababu imewekwa flavor ya ukuku. Imagine tu.
Nyama ni tamu sana. Nyama ni tamu sana. He was right. He was right. The man who said that what kills a man, what kills a man begins with an appetite. And behold, today I will tell you a story, an appetite story. Nyama ni tamu sana. Nyama ni tamu sana. The people of Bungulupangla did things too much. Be it looking, they looked too much. Be it talking, they talked too much. Stories they told too much. Be it being busy, they were there too much. And they did things together. When they walked together. When they climbed up the stage, they climbed together. When they asked for a microphone, they asked together. And then when they were given the microphones, it was given together. Do you know why they did things together? Do you know why? It was because of meat. These people loved meat. In the morning it was meat. Afternoon, meat. Evening, and even when they went horizontal, it was meat. Ha! But there was one thing in this village. You were not supposed to eat Ondiek Marach the hyena. You were to eat all meats, but eating Ondiek Marach was a taboo. It was. And so they ate all types of meat. Be it goat meat, they ate. Be it cow meat, they ate. Be it kukukwata, they ate. Kukurukakara, they ate. And even a kukudanja, they ate. But it was a taboo to eat Ondiek Marach the hyena. But one day, a heavy drought fell upon the land. The leaves of the trees curled and withered. The sun danced on the sky as it sucked the last drop of moisture from the ground. There was hunger and famine. You could hear men crying hunger. You could hear women crying hunger. You could hear children crying hunger. Kechkaya, yawa kechkaya, yawa kechkaya. Yawa kechkaya, kechkaya, yawa kechkaya. Yawa mia chiemo. There was no food, but Father afield lived Ondiek Marach the hyena. The hyena grew fat and fat and fat, big and big and maduong anama maduong. But eating it was a taboo. So some men said, hey, if eating the hyena is a taboo, what about chasing the hyena? Is it a taboo? They chased it and got it. They said, if chasing the hyena is not taboo, what about killing it? Is it taboo? Is it? And so they killed it and lay there dead. They said, if eating the hyena is a taboo, what about skinning it? Is that a taboo? Is it? So they picked their kisus, visus, nisus, and all the sus. They began removing and removing. Wakatoa na kutoa. Wakagola na kugola. Wakawodha na kuwodha. And the hyena remained there without skin. But eating it was still a taboo. They say, hey, if eating the hyena is still a taboo, What about cutting it into pieces? Is that a taboo? Is it? So they made pieces. Big pieces, long pieces, straight pieces, round pieces, all the pieces, and even piecelets. No piecelets. Piecelets, small pieces. Oh, you think you are clever? Okay. A small book is called a booklet. A small book is called tick. A small pig is called. Now, a small toy is called. There you are. The hyena was there in all pieces, but eating it was a taboo. Hey, if eating it is taboo, what about what? What about? Good nyama choma guys are here. What about roasting? Is that taboo? It was not taboo. So they made fire. Fire here, fire there, fire catcher, fire there, fire everywhere. And the hyena began to roast. It roasted and roasted. Roasted, and as it was getting roasted, it produced sounds of twitch and twatch. Twitch and twatch and behold, the aroma of the roasting on Dik Maharaj began to assault their nostrils. Can you feel the aroma? But eating it was still a taboo. Hey, if eating the hyena, even at this point, is still a taboo, what about? What about? No! I say, hey, if eating the hyena is still a taboo at this point, what about picking kachumbari and putting next to it? Is that a taboo? What about putting chumbi next to it? Is that taboo? So they pick kachumbari next to it. Chumbi, pilipili hoho, pilipili haha, pilipili hihi, even pilipili usioila, they put it next to it. But eating it was still a taboo. I said, hey, if eating it is still a taboo, what about tasting? What about? Is that taboo? Is it? It was not a taboo because so they began testing and testing. They tested and waka onja naku, waka bila naku, hey bilo. And behold, in no time, Ondiek Maharaj was no more. So the following day in the morning, people woke up to find bones of Ondiek Maharaj in the compound. The question was, who ate Ondiek Maharaj? Who ate Ondiek Maharaj? Kendo? Who ate Ondiek Maharaj? I wonder who. Who ate? Nobody was who I ate. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It was not me. But the chief was very wise. You know what he did? The chief went straight to the public toilet and waited from there. You see, during this season of hunger and famine, there was no input, so there should be no. So the chief waited from there. And behold, first person, toilet. Second person, toilet. Third person, fourth person, fifth person, hata wewe. The chief didn't know their names. So he listened keenly. And behold, from inside the toilet came different names. In no time came the first name. Moses. Then it came around very fast. Peace! Then another one. Thunderously. Kobo. Then the last one, a question mark. Unjiadi.
The Kisumu modeling industry is growing. Now, the only opportunity that is in Kisumu is that we have very dark, beautiful models. Being through Nairobi today and yesterday, I have seen a lot of billboards with very beautiful women. My only problem is they are very beautiful, light-skinned women. Where are our dark-skinned sisters? And being here with a lot of stakeholders seated here right now, I think this should be a challenge to you. I don't think we as a people are sending the right message out there. We are not sending the right message because we are telling the girl, the dark-skinned girl out there, that she is not beautiful enough for the billboard. I think that, number one, should be a change. And number two, we should also incorporate models in more important roles. We are not just beauty queens, as she says. We are more than ambassadors. And if used correctly, I use that word very passionately. By used, I mean, if used correctly, we would be ambassadors to very different and very outstanding companies out here.
Habari zenyu? Niaje wase? Bwana asifiwe. All right, mimi naitwa Rington. I used to live in Komarok, and I used to live in a small one-bedroom house. Nilikuwa napita kwa sitting room ya landlord ndio nafika kwa nyumba yangu. Na I happened to have bought a small sports car, an old one, Celica, ile ya kufanya mataa hivi. Now, I used to pay rent ya 5,500, but it used to be a big challenge kulipa hiyo 5,500. So, ikafika time, gearbox ya gari yangu ikaharibika. Wakati gearbox iliharibika, ilibaki na gears 1 and 5. So, wale unajua kuendesha gari ukiweka hapo katikati, everywhere is free. So, nikaenda kuuliza huko kuna mahali panaitwa Masaku hapo industrial area kununua gearbox second hand ni how much? Nikaambiwa ni 35,000 shillings. So I didn't have 35,000 shillings. Nikaenda kukopa. So wakati nienda kukopa nikakopa wasanii marafiki zangu hawana do. So nikaenda kwa radio presenter mmoja anaitwa Monica Sumbi. Alikuwa Hope FM. So nikaenda nikamkopa anipatie 35,000 shillings ni fix gearbox ya gari yangu. Kwenda kumkopa akaniambia yeye ako na budget. Ile pesa amebaki nayo peke yake ni 7,500. Na akaniambia juu wewe ni rafiki yangu naweza kukupatia but you need to give me back the money in 2 weeks. Usiponipatia in 2 weeks you'll have messed with my program. So nikachukua hiyo pesa. Wakati nichukua hiyo pesa nikaenda nikajiuliza, should I take this money niende niache kama deposit ya gearbox ama niende nilipe rent yangu? So nikabaki niko in between. What I decided to do, nikasema since gari yangu ina move na iko na gear 1 na iko na gear 5, bado nilikuwa nakujanga nayo town ikiwa na hiyo gear 1 na 5. Ikiwa nikifika town nikipark, wakati wa kutoka kwanza nilikuwa niko na mawe ndani ya gari nimeweka. Nikitaka kutoka naendanga naweka mawe mbele, naenda ni kama nataka kwenda mbele, gari inarudi nyuma kidogo. Kirudi nyuma alafu nazima kwa gear, nasongesha hiyo mawe hivyo mpaka natoka. Ama kama kuna wale vijana wa parking wananisukuma. So what I did, nikasema wacha niko na VCDs zangu za music. So nikasema wacha nifanye duplication ya VCD zangu na niende na hiyo gari. Mahali itaharibikia ni sawa, nitazunguka na matatu. So nikafanya duplication ya VCD zangu over 300 copies, nikaweka ndani ya gari na nikaweka mafuta gari. So nikaamua kwenda, nilikuwa naenda Nyeri. So lakini nikaenda mpaka Karatina, nikapita na Kerugoya all the way, nikafika Karatina. I booked myself into a hotel inaitwa Starbucks. Unajua ukiingia na bag hawakuitisha pesa za hiyo. So nikaingia kwa hoteli, nikaacha bag, nikaambia nitakuja, niko hapa the whole week. So kutoka hapo nikaenda mashule high schools ziko hapo around. Kuna Tumutumu, kuna Bishop Gatimu Ngandu and many other schools. So it happened, shule zilikuwa zimefunguliwa, primary schools on Monday, high schools on Tuesday. So that was on Wednesday. So nikaingia kwa Bishop Gatimu Ngandu na principal kaniuliza, what do you want to come and do here? Then nikamwambia me, I used to be a street boy. I was thrown away on the street na mama yangu, babangu alikufa kabla nimuone. I became a street by the age of 7. But nikamwambia, I've come from the streets and today I'm a musician. So nikamwambia story yangu. Akaniambia, you know what, I'm going to give you a chance today. You tell my students your story and you sing for them one song. So nikatoka, nikaenda nje alafu nikarudi jioni saa 10. Then I gave my story, I spoke to the girls and nikawaimbia song moja. They decided to buy my VCDs. They bought all the VCDs I had. So nikatoka kwa hiyo shule na principal akanipatia 5,000 shillings, akaniambia the school doesn't have money. Here is 5,000 shillings. You'll go fuel your car. So I left that school with over 30,000, over 35,000 shillings. So nikirudi kwa hoteli nikajiuliza, should I go back to Nairobi niende ni fix gearbox ya gari yangu? Kitu ikaniambia, you know what? If the gearbox is as nimeharibika and you are making money, why should you go back to Nairobi? Nikapiga simu asubuhi, nikatumiwa VCD zingine. In short, nikaanza kumake a lot of money, and I decided not to come back to Nairobi. From that time mpaka wakati shule zilifunga, I never slept in my house in Nairobi, but nilikuwa nalipa rent na M-Pesa. So by the time shule zinafunga, wakati nafika midterm, nilikuwa nauliza, hii region wakiwa midterm, ile region nyingine hawako midterm, so naama ile region haiko midterm. So I did that. Wakati shule zilikuwa zinafunga, I had made over 1.8 million shillings.
There's a project going on right now called Studio Mashinani. And Studio Mashinani is intended to open up a studio that is much nearer to you, especially for those who are in the counties, and which will give you very cost-effective, low-cost production for your visual and audio productions.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, and that started, I think, there are 3 studios being rehabilitated at this very moment. So watch this space.
So what does that mean? Just expand that for us. So I have, as a visual or content developer, I have access to these studios. I can go into the studios and do my thing, record my programs, and upload, or how does that work?
Yes, that is the intention, because I think that's one of the barriers for creatives,
right.
Is
well done.
To make a high quality production, because you don't have access to the lighting, to very good sound equipment, and so on. It's costly. So they'll open up higher quality equipment at low cost. And this is really targeting the youth so that you can quickly get into studio quality production.
Have artists understood the importance of the digital infrastructure? 2, have they expanded their business, because they are the business, by using the digital infrastructure?
First, I think there is little use of the digital space for business, not only by artists, but also by the normal user of the digital space. In between the continent of Africa, there was a spread of about 900 billion in the last 1.5 years that was exchanged and paid directly to corporates and individuals for using their digital space. So mostly for artists, because it's visual, SoundCloud and YouTube come in as a key factors for them. I encourage you to Google the top 10 earners on YouTube. You'll find that the highest earner was actually a guy who is teaching people how to make a dress. Then in the African context, the highest earner is a person who is showing people how to plant and harvest maize.
Not a musician.
Not a musician. In fact, there is no musician in that list. Up to around 24, that's when I see the first musician coming in. Yet when you look at our Instagram for the artists, and not only the musicians, also actors, they have the highest numbers, yet they don't have the highest earnings. There is a disconnect between passion and making money out of YouTube. I'll give you an example. I started a YouTube account to do nothing, basically to wake up in the morning and say hi and do, and I call it a name that was not my name. And within a few, because of advertising on it, advertising on YouTube, you spend like 100 shillings to get a lot of views. But because of advertising on it, you start earning out of it. 2 months ago, I got a check from YouTube, which was not too much money, but it shows you the potential, because they sent 85,000 shillings. Then that tells you something. Because you have content you're generating as artists, and it doesn't have even to be some which you have done, then you can make the money. We call it the digital mental shift.
Nameless. So what is it that artists don't get in terms of digital. I mean, they are the business. We have got, I mean, now in a club or in a radio station, you can actually run a station entirely with local music. Lakini mbona I translate into chapa, yet there's all this infrastructure. Nini hatuelewi?
All right. Hi, guys. I think I'll say, like, in the course of my career, when we started off, there was not that much internet and YouTube. And we didn't, for us, the only way to get exposed as a musician was mainly through the main media, like radio stations and TV. Until YouTube came about, and I always remember a song I'd done, Sinzia or something, I saw it uploaded by someone. I didn't know who uploaded it. And, you know, people started knowing about Sinzia from different parts of the world, meaning that internet just all of a sudden exposes you to the world, you know? And as we've gone on, it's been advancing, you know, even he talked about Instagram and stuff like that. It's been advancing. And I'll be honest with you, because meaning old school, initially I was not seeing the value of internet before. I was like, if someone uploads it, you know, whatever. But in the last 4 or 5 years, I started realizing the importance of it for business, in terms of business and growing business, whereby you have to look for different channels to get your stuff out. Because as a musician, unless you're doing music for you and your mom, you need more people, watu wengi at least to see it, so that if they connect with it, because I keep saying to artists among us here, even if you have a good song, but it doesn't connect with the audience, it's really not, it's useless to you in terms of economics. So you have to find ways to get it out there. And as he said, you know, it's not necessarily just through music. You could find things that make people at least be interested in your story and your life, and then you sell to them your music, you know. So for us, you know, when you're talking about reducing the cost of using internet, especially for us, it's so important because most of our fans, you know, when I compare what's happening in Tanzania, I used to wonder how come there's so much engagement on the net. Yes. Yeah, and I realize it's also because of cost. It's much cheaper there, so more people can interact with following their artists and their idols. You know, Instagram and all that. You can notice the numbers are really big.
What kind of artist gets a lot of views? What kind of artist or brand is he or she?
For the media, when you're looking to cover someone, you're not, like Nameless said, don't do a song for you and your mother, because it's not you and your mother who'll read the paper, it's a lot of people. So you have to factor in the audience. So as much as you get artists so enthusiastic, they come, they're like, cover me, you're like, okay, I'll cover you, but who'll read about you? Because people want to read about people they're interested in, or people who are controversial. So the choice of who is covered is
it's dependent on those two.
In a lot of things. You could be controversial, you could be popular at the time, you could have done something interesting that people want to know. And the latest trend nowadays, it's not about celebrities, it's about normal people who do interesting stuff. So you realize that as much as you're sticking to this, people are reading different things. That's why we have Kilimani Moms coming up. That's why we have different groupings coming up. So what you need to do as a journalist, you need to be in those groups to understand what they're doing, understand that group, and then try and present content that fits into that group so that you don't lose out on the audience.
You say controversy or popular. So explain controversy. So how controversial should a brand, and when I say brand, but there it sounds like you're skewed towards musicians, but of course I see Chris Kamau and I want you to talk about you know, how this whole infrastructure works for artists, for actors and actresses as well, scriptwriters and so on. So explain controversy, explain, dare I say, popularity.
Let me give an example of Ringtone. Ringtone has been a favorite for the bloggers and media, but controversy is just about, they say that negative or positive publicity is still publicity. So it all depends with the brand of the artist. If you feel like controversy is what pushes you, then by all means go ahead.
Stick to it.
Stick to it, because you see different personalities have different thick skins. Because there are people who, if they're in controversies, they break down completely. But Ringtone has managed to survive, so I think it works for him.
What determines how you will push a brand, how you will push them in the papers, on the digital infrastructure? How will you sell this brand to advertising agencies in terms of certain products that fit, that fit certain artists? How do you determine that?
Okay. Hi, guys. I think, first of all, it's relevance. You need to understand your market and then focus on that market and be relevant to the market. There's so many markets in Kenya. There's so many markets due to ICT. Your market is not limited to Kenya. It's worldwide. First of all, I think my advice generally to any artist, be it a musician, be it an actor, is leverage on your passion, first and foremost. Be true to yourself, okay? Don't try and be someone else because they're successful. You can't be anyone else but yourself. Then generate the content that is true to yourself and then find a market for it. And then once you do find that market, then you're instantly relevant to it. Then promote yourself to that market and use social media and generate the numbers, okay? Brands are interested, other brands are interested in numbers. Grace is interested in numbers, yeah? Once you have the attention of your market and the attention, and then you'll begin to cross over into other markets as well. Once you have that, then you do then get the opportunities for levels of endorsements, for example.
When people make more money than share the capital, even the art and all that improves, that's right. You know? But what's happening is when the money is not coming in, it's suppressing the creativity. Because someone is thinking, I've barely made some money. Can I spend 1 million on a video? Yeah. Or do I spend 150,000? You know? So it begins to be a cyclic problem. So what he's saying is very important, where he's saying, you know what? Honestly speaking, the money is going in the wrong pockets, you know? And that is stunting the growth of talent. So many talented guys, especially young guys who are coming in, they come in over 1 year, they get frustrated. We're losing a lot of talent because the money, unfortunately, is going into the wrong pockets.
I'll just say two things from the conversation I've had here. One is also artists need to get into numbers. The associations I've seen of artists over a period of time are unable to engage with government because government is also unable to engage with every single artist that exists. We can't engage with every designer, with every actor, with every guy churning out music. The associations need to be stronger and people need to fight less in those associations so that then the engagement is productive. If you look at journalism, for example, they have an association in KUJ that engages with government. You do anything wrong, they go to court. For artists, we still have, even when they're fighting on Skiza, you still find splinter groups That's inside. True. Yes. So it is time also artists engaged, first of all, in their individual association, so designers association, then in a mother association that brings them together. That way, then engagement becomes possible. I just spoke to Ronnie Osumba, who is the new head of Youth Fund, and we understand that over the past years, Youth Fund has tried to do some funds which are good on paper, but when you engage, the money doesn't really come out. They start the issues of logbooks, the issues of stuff that you cannot have. Your CD, your DVD is no longer acceptable as security for you to access the money. It is important to put a close look at your brand. My background is journalism, and I had Grace speak about controversy, and Ringtone is also my friend. But I will tell you this. You can choose to make yourself the story or your art the story. Money rarely follows individuals on the art. In the artistic field, what you churn out is more memorable.
I've been listening to everything they've said, and it's incredible. I had 3 things that I wanted to share. One of the most important questions that has been asked, and it's come up in a couple of different places, is we need to be honest about whether we are good at what we do or not. There's a lot of people who, and this is a thing we were talking about even earlier, who are selling woye, you know? So you come and say, mimi ni msanii woye, nunua kitu yangu. I'm like, no, I want to buy it because I like it. Even me, the things I make, I don't want you to buy them because you feel sorry for me. I would hate that. I don't want your sorry money. You know? I want your belief money. I want you to buy a thing because you like it. I want you to buy a thing because you'd be proud to share it with your friend. I want you to share, if I'm a photographer, I want you to share my image, not because I'm your friend, and I'll go into friends of artists in a bit. I want you to share my thing because it's good. If you're not sure whether you're good or not, you need to ask somebody. You need to ask somebody who you don't know because they are less likely to lie to you. And you also need to ask somebody who doesn't have a vested interest in whether you succeed or not. Those are difficult things to figure out. Those are ideally things that you should get somebody who you admire in your field to listen to you and say, really, is my voice good? There are many people who succeed and their voices are not great, but they're successful because they find a thing that they're able to do. So this thing of being very self-aware about my voice maybe is a 4 in an industry where people like voices that are 10s, but what else am I bringing to the table? You know? So sometimes talent is not the only thing. There's so many people in Nairobi dying and they're like super talented. It's so tragic and terrible. And then there are others who have managed to figure out all the other things that can surround a voice and they're succeeding, you know? So being self-aware is like super, super important. The next thing is building a team. I know people, the minute you think about building a team, you think money, money, money. And no, it's not just money. When I was in uni, one of my best friends, even now, is a visual artist, and he works in film and he works in photography and he does a lot of beautiful things. He can decide he wants to shoot a picture of a glass on this stage, and I will find a way to make it happen because I believe in him that much. You know? So what you need to do is find somebody who will go with you and who has a vested interest in you succeeding. So somebody who can be your manager when you go to these gigs where you're paid 5 Gs, you give them 1,500 or 2 Gs, or maybe you're sharing 50-50, and then the next gig, and the two of you are constantly planning how do you need to succeed so that even me can succeed. So you don't have to wait until you succeed so that you can have a manager, or wait until you succeed so you can have someone who does your PR, who can tell you, controversy, let's milk it. You know, so that it's not only you who's thinking all the time. You'll get so tired. When will you create? You know?
That's true.
So that definitely, in finding a team, it's not money you need. It's loyalty, it's commitment, and it's honesty. And maybe the last thing was with regard to social media and how to use it for marketing, definitely coming off what Dennis said. And I want to give you guys an example. For those of you who use Instagram, for whatever reasons you use it, whether you're selling fish or because witch doctors use Instagram these days, and they should. One of the people I follow rapidly, like I'm such a fan, is Huda Monroe. How many people know Huda Monroe? Huda is incredible, and you people need to know this, and this is why. Huda, definitely her life started with many, many controversies, and that got people, you know, to follow her, etc. And Huda has built herself into being a brand. And every time people see Huda, they know her makeup is perfectly done. She's always dressed in this particular way. So when 2 weeks ago, Huda releases a lipstick line, wouldn't everybody go and buy it? Because they know Huda takes all these things so seriously. And so by the time she's saying she wants to use all her following to be able to sell a thing, it's so easy because people, like, you're not thinking that, oh, she's going to give me something that's poor quality, when her entire brand is built on being somebody who can offer something that's high quality. You see what I mean? So even you, when you start your Instagram account and then the first thing you put up is a pair of jeans that you've made, who is wearing your pair of jeans? How do we know that your pair of jeans are incredible? I'm not going to come with Woye and say because it's a pair of jeans that have been made in Kenya, I'll buy. No, I want to see somebody else is wearing them, somebody else is enjoying them, somebody with a body like mine looks good in that pair of jeans that you're selling. So even when we use social media to sell a thing, it's not posting an image or even just putting an advert. It's thinking, how do I make somebody desire the thing that I'm selling, whatever it is?
I think one of the things that is very evident here is that knowledge is power. And the golden rule is that he who has the gold makes the rules. So information is everything. And what I'm getting from this is, thank you very much, Mike, for those figures. Mike is at an advantage here because he knows exactly what's happening, like in the music industry, for example. How many of us here, as artists, when you go and watch a movie, how many of you stay until the end of the credits? Okay. I'll tell you why it's important. The other day I watched Independence Day 2. And I watched. At the end it said, special thanks to the New Mexico Film Commission. It went, and the producers would like to specially thank Ken Bogwa. Who is Ken Bogwa?
Ken Bogwa is a guy here, isn't
Ken Bogwa probably is the guy who runs the New Mexico Film Office. You know? How many of us here know someone called Hezron Wanena? Do you know Hezron Wanena? He is the vice president of Paramount Pictures.
Sure.
You people need to be informed. So many. Read. Do your research. It'll help you.
I have a few points, and I like what Mike has just talked about, because most of us as artists, we don't even, unaishi kwa nyumba ujui rules. We stay in a house and we don't know where the kitchen is, where the sitting room is, and we claim to be artists, me included. So first of all, what I want to talk about is why do other people have numbers and we don't have numbers? Unapata Uda kona numbers na amenipiga mbaya mimi kwa Instagram. Na Uda anauza lipstick, you know? And me, I've been there for a long time. It's because Uda embraced social media before we did, you know? Si tukianza mziki tulikuwa bado mavichwa ngumu, tumetoka mtaa, tunataka kurepresent ugenge yetu huko. But we lost focus on the business side. And that is why it is important to have guys like Mike who understand the business. Two, about the digital space. Anything good that comes as negatives. And the biggest problem that we are having now is illegal sites who are selling our music. And piracy has moved from CDs to digital platforms. And that is one of the places that I wanted to ask the government to help us in cabinet, because it's bigger than selling CDs, and it's much wider. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is there's a law that states Kenyan content should be 60%, right? But it's not implemented. What Mike has talked about is, if we play more local music, it means more money remains here. So tutakuwa tunalipa wasanii wetu, and tutakuwa tuna empower the youth. On the same point, there are a lot of international artists who come into Kenya. Unasikia international artist amekuja analipwa 8 million, 4 million, alafu frasha anaitwa anaambiwa wewe kula kaso. I mean, if for example in Tanzania, there's a minimum for any local artist how much they should be paid in the law. So that it's a percentage of the international artist. That way, what it means is that if Kenyans are coming to watch, for example, Jimmy Gatu from Tanzania act, this is Kenyan money that has been brought there. If Jimmy Gatu is going with 8 million from Kenya, na mimi Mkenya wa hapa, I remain with 100,000. Who are we building? We're not building our industry. So I would like, for example, we have a minimum percentage.
I will not go further onto the brand and social media issue, but to add, you also need to be crossover artists. You may be a very good musician, but you can offer the music for a film. You can offer the music, maybe you're an actor, you can offer some beat on a music video. Please explore and do those things, because people, if you look even at international artists, there are people who become movie stars, they even become politicians. And I know the artists vying for various positions, and when you consult some of us, even if we may not participate directly in your campaign, we are able to offer you leads on how to win some of those campaigns, whether you're in COD or Jubilee. On 60%, my challenge there then goes back to artists. Why don't you start an artist TV and make it mainstream? I mean, if we all combined and denied our art to mainstream and started our own stuff, what will happen? They will buy content from that artist TV. Because unless then, unfortunately, we speak very good things in such functions, but when we go out there, we go back to our splinter groups. I hope we can come with a resolution. That way, you create your own repository, because most people form circles. Your circle can be a TV, which also becomes your financial base, and you also have an alternative financing away from government. Because if you're selling to an artist TV, you're getting paid by it, and you also turn it into a circle that is able to serve and give you loans, then you're able to start an outfit that is not conventional and that fits into the digital migration aspect.
The blank media levy that Dennis is talking about, I'm glad he's confirmed that it's being collected. It's 4 billion shillings a year. And it's going to the wrong people. And that's for film, television, and music. Okay, so the philosophy of blank media levy is that basically if it comes in blank and basically pirates are using it, at least you'll get something, yeah, because of piracy or because of home storage.
Mike,
okay?
Because I think I've had this conversation with you for a very long time, and I would like all the artists to listen to this. I think one of the biggest problems in this industry is lack of unity. And it's very easy to break up these guys. If I want to decide anything right now, I know who to choose in the audience to sing my tune. So they're being used every time by various people to push various agendas and not make these guys go anywhere. So one of the biggest problems is unity.
I'll tell you this, it's true. There are many issues about coming together. But I just want to say this because I know artists are here. And there's one voice that they all agree. And I'm still wondering why it's a problem to enforce. And we are hoping that maybe you can answer or you guys can answer because I think it's the most low-lying fruit and I can assure you it will change this industry so much. But we still wonder what's the problem. All artists here speak one voice. Just one thing from Gava as we work on our own issues. 60% local content. Why is it so hard? Just, there are so many other issues and we agree, we are trying to sort it out. But honestly, there are 200 broadcasters. It should be very easy to make it that for you to have a license, you have to prove that 60% of what you have is local content. Why? I'm still trying to understand as I sit here, why is it so hard to implement that? And that one, if you guys keep saying, if you speak in one voice, we shall do.
Okay, come on.
Are we speaking one voice? 60%?
The law doesn't define 60% involves this and this and this, which is what we need to do as artists. And that's now where we come in. The law just says local content. So how do you stop a broadcaster who says, I have produced the news, I have directed the news, I have done the script, and I have broadcasted? So that for a broadcaster, they always give us scripts on how they have achieved the 60%. That becomes one. Then for KTN News, they say for 24 hours, it's all, at least 80% is local content. They interview people who are Kenyans, it's local stuff. So they basically say local content does not necessarily mean the artist production. It means anything that is produced and directed. And now when you go to the definition of the Constitution, on the Copyright Act, on what forms content or local content, it's first of all, it's production, it's directing, it's local cast. How do you tell a broadcaster that is not it? So we need probably to work on amendments on the law to specifically define what is local content. How do you achieve that? Government cannot act as the activist. You cannot go in with a government bill amending that. It needs to come from the producers of local content to basically define what local content is. Then government will take over and implement. However, with digital migration here, and that's what I've kept insisting, you can force that 60% by denying them because they count the music show, for instance, the music shows the beats, whatever they have at 4 o'clock, they count it as local content. If you withdraw that and start your own, then they have a bigger problem because now they will not have news from 4 to 9. It has to be driven away also from the government has put the law. Help us get there. If they account to us and tell us according to the law we have achieved, then what does government do next? However, I'm not the expert on that. On Monday, the State House Summit in State House, and I hope Ted will give me 3 representatives from this group who I am going to put in that team. And then after that, we'll have a National Creative Economy State House Summit. I want those issues to come and be put before the president, before the minister in charge, so that then and before broadcasters, because you're going to bring them in, then we are going to have proper effective answers on why that 60% is not being achieved. They even go to their YouTube, by the way, and they say they have already put up and they calculate that. So basically, it's about the law and the weaknesses of it.
We want to take the challenge. We've heard that we are divided. we want to take the challenge. In 1 month, we'll come to the government as one thing, as artists, with all these things we are saying. The challenge is we are saying the same thing. We are fighting from this point, but generally we are saying the same thing. If it's 60% content, it's the same thing another body is saying. So we are taking the challenge. We come in a month's time. We'll come to engage as one body. Thank you very much.
I wanted to give my input on the 60%. It's already happened for the film and TV because it's part of the law now, and it's actually being enforced by the Communications Authority of Kenya. And they are very stringent because it's tied to the renewal of licenses. The media owners, we had a meeting with them this week. They are concerned, of course, because they must comply. News is out, adverts are out. That is not part of the local content. And I need to confirm, but I believe so far about 10% of that is independently sourced content. And that's a discussion that we will take further. But I know in places like Uganda, it's already 70% local content. So I think the ball is in our court as government. I'm glad to hear that there are devices that are already being levied. We do have a provision for a film promotion fund in law. So it's our hope that, that can also be implemented now or put in place now so that we can stimulate that content, so that we are also able to be at par with the ICT industry. There is so much space there that needs the content, and also even be able to push the tourism numbers through film.
We have a question here, Grace, and Grace, you can take this one up. What is it with you media guys and just supporting other guys? Diamond comes 3 pages. This guy does a show in Isiolo, no page. Even on Facebook, even on his page, there is no story. What is it, and what can we do? Is it we don't give you enough information, or we don't fill you with enough knowledge? Do you want us to be more accessible? What can we do? And why do you guys do this honestly? You only write about us when there's a scandal.
Okay, so this is what's up. First, let me give you an overview of what a journalist's life is like in the newsroom, so that you probably understand why it's easier. First, let me give you an overview. You come into the office in the morning, you have an editorial meeting. After the editorial meeting, you go through your emails. They're from here to here. That's only emails. Social media kuna inbox. WhatsApp groups ni kama zote. So you're hit with so much information. By the time we go look for that person in Isiolo who's done a spectacular performance in a concert, you do not have time for that. You already have all this information to deal with, process, and decide what are you going to use, what are you not going to use. And then when you've asked about Diamond, Alikiba, Chris Brown, again, it's an issue of demand. What do the audiences want to know? And then with social media now and with newsrooms going digital, the quick news is put online very quickly. And once it's put online, the feedback is immediate. This story goes, it's big online. This is what people want to read. And then by the time you get the Isiolo guy and put him, it's been a week or 2 weeks because you've done all this information has hit you. You've put the stories, and now the Isiolo guy, the story, you get it finally on Facebook, or someone tags you on a photo and you're like, oh, this is very nice. But now it's 2 weeks later, it's old. We're in a digital world. If you put that, no one's going to check it out because probably his community has already looked at it. So for artists, when you have any information, try and get channels where you can get the journalists to find out about your information quickly. If it's on WhatsApp, everyone is on WhatsApp, in all these WhatsApp groups with a journalist. Chat them, get their attention, tell them we have this, but don't tell them when it's already happened. Tell them before it happens so that they can even mark it in their diary or something.
Mine is direct to what Nameless was saying. And this is a direct challenge to Big Ted, to Deno. Ni mabeste zangu nawapenda sana. And I'm so happy we all began at the National Theatre. My idea is this, as KEGSAV, by the way, I'm the Secretary General, we are representing all the artists. We are saying this. We are really not even suggesting 60%. We are suggesting more than that. We're even going for, if possible, 90% Kenyan content. The reason I'm saying that is because we've researched and we have countries like, should I say, developed countries like South Africa, which are already doing that. We have countries like Tanzania, and she's even said Uganda now they're doing 70%. And as Nameless had put it, this is a law that doesn't need any financing. It doesn't need any validation. It just needs for the government to say, from today henceforth, if you're to register as a broadcaster, rule number 3 is you must play, let's say, 90% local content. So just like they did with the Matatu, where when you get the TLB sticker, it caters for all the taxes that the government wants with the Matatu Owners Association. That is point number 1. Point number 2, as artists, I'm embarrassed. In every forum that we go to, sisi ndio tunakuanga the bad example. Who bewitched us? For once, let us come under KEGSAV, and if you're not registered, we come here. We've gotten members even from as far as, is it Garissa? Isiolo. And we are saying whether you are Muslim, whether you are Luo, whether you are young, old, it doesn't matter. You are an artist. For heavenly sake, baraka yetu isitupite kwa sababu ya uselebi yenye haina pesa. And then to finish on to the journalists, I would say this. I remember very well, there's a time Shaggy came on to Kenya and women committed suicide. And then, the moment he went to DRC, he was asked to cut and raise for Werason. Shaggy. He was meant, in fact they said Werason should cut and raise. Werason told him, my friend, and even the country told him, my friend, your Shaggy will have you on your iPod, on our iPods. But here in Congo, you cut and raise for Werason. And that is because of a culture that was embraced by, I'm not blaming our government, I'm just saying we can adapt to that, whereby you hold Nameless with the dignity that he deserves.
It is only when, as entertainment reporters, you change from just saying, Rafton amefungiwa nyumba, and those kind of stories, to setting a new agenda that Rafton this year, I've never seen actually a story that looks at who sold the figures that he has given, or who sold this amount of artists, or who sold this much, or who sold this much. And also, we haven't seen on those entertainment pages stories that tell us about a play that has been staged here and dissects it. It used to be there. It died in favor of what? Hood Ramondro has bought a Range Rover.
But that already is there. Standard, Jojorido does a lot of plays, theater. He has all that.
You see now you're going to one newspaper. I'm actually saying, in terms
Across
of your association that you chair, okay, it has become a very small segment. It is now, more has been said. And I agree with you, new media has taken over. But if new media has taken over, then mainstream should die.
First, start by adding, we are not just in charge of national days and entertainment. PPMC is in charge of the music industry. It's the government arm that deals with music. So if you're a musician, then PPMC is your, your nurturing home, but it's also your docket. That's where you belong. So you should, if you're a musician, you should know who we are, where we are, etc., because we are the person you should be talking to in terms of music. Just to add on to the discussion about airplay. Actually, the push for, if we are going to push for that law amendment, the push from the industry is not just 60%, but let's have 60% within a watershed period of, is it 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., when people are actually listening to the radio, when people are watching. If you leave it as a blanket 60%, most stations will play for you 60% from midnight till 6 a.m. All right? And they'll have achieved their 60%. So we need that 60% at the right time, prime time. 60% must be That's the voice that's coming from the industry, and that's the voice we are supporting as those representing the industry from the music side, and I'm sure it affects all the other areas of performing arts.
Mimi nataka kuzungumza habari ya union. My name is John Katana, a unionist, a musician by profession, leader them mushrooms. I sit on the board, Kekobo. I'm the General Secretary of the Kenya Musicians Union. Tuna associations nyingi right now as we talk. There's KEGSAF, there's I don't know what, there's Kenya Musicians Union, which I would urge all of you to listen carefully. This union is for you all. Lakini kama kawaida wanamuziki wamekuwa wanavuta, wanapeleka. We've been around since 2007. Bwana Itumbi, a message to you to the house on the hill. Tumezungushwa, we are given letters, lakini certificate yetu hatupawi. Kila saa there's something going on. But in the meantime, we've been working. We are affiliated to the International Federation of Musicians, which is the umbrella body for all the unions, musicians unions in the world. Tumefanya hapa workshops. Some of you have been invited. We have brought in 27 unions from Africa to Nairobi. Right now, we called upon musicians in Kenya to join hands with musicians from Ghana and Uganda on Facebook. Waweze kuanza kufanya collabs na nini. But as usual, what we've been hearing is, hiyo union inaendeshwa na wazee. I want to shock you. The General Secretary of my counterpart in the UK is almost 70 years old, but they have a good mix of experience and the youth. That's one thing Kenya ambayo we don't want to see. Kila saa huyu mzee, ukimwona my brother Chris Kamau na ndevu nyeupe, you won't go for his experience.
For the Christmas.
Unaona, utasema, what can he teach us? No, we have to have a good blend of the young and the old.